Yes guys, Tuesday and another Tuesday tutorial. In today's video guys, I will be showcasing how you play the 4-5-1 formation, but also my secret custom tactics and player roles to basically master to play the 4-5-1 formation in EFC 25. But before we jump into today's video, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I would appreciate that a lot. As we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, that would mean massively. And yeah, let's just jump into today's video. And hopefully I can teach you guys a few tips and tricks and also giving you my player roles and tactics for the 4-5-1 formation like appropriate. Okay, so starting off with the team and how I want to basically build my team when I want to play a 4-5-1 formation is a few, I would say, tweaks and tricks that I use when I try to build a 4-5-1 formation. Starting off in goal, it doesn't really matter. Goalies are just personal preference at the moment. I have, obviously, Vicario on the bench, playing Konate at the moment. Konate is decent. I think sometimes he has games where he saves everything and sometimes he has games where he just forgot how to save a ball, basically. Which makes sense because he's an outfield player, right? Right back and left back, I think... To me, at least, in the 4-5-1, it's quite important to have two fullbacks that has a few good passing playstyles, because you still want to use the fullbacks in attack in the 4-5-1. In this case, I have Lucio, for example, and if you go into playstyles for Lucio, he manages to have incisive in white, gold in pink and in long ball, also tiki-taka in white. Basically has all the important playstyles. Whipped cross doesn't really matter for fullbacks in this game, in my opinion, especially when you play the 4-5-1 formation. Also has intercept, which is good, and also bruiser. So overall, I mean, this Lucio is simply amazing for right back. I think it's fantastic. Very, very good. Very, very strong, and as I said, has the important playstyles in terms of passing. Going to Lukaku then, he also has incisive in white, which is super important, trying to get the wingers through with the fullbacks. Pink passing gold, which is simply amazing for a fullback. Long ball in white, then he has white in jockey, block, gold in anticipate, and bruiser. Unfortunately, he doesn't have intercept, but that's maybe something that you can add to your Lukaku later on, or from the season pass, to make him even better. Center backs on this game, I think, is basically going to be the same thing in every formation. You need them to be quick, you need them to have all the playstyles in defending. If you look at Saliba, he has block, intercept, and anticipate, the three most important playstyles in gold. Slide tackle, I barely use slide tackle, I'm gonna be honest. Then for Virgil van Dijk, he unfortunately doesn't have intercept in gold, but he has intercept in anticipate and block, and also has that aerial in gold, which means that he will be very, very good on corners, but also defending them, which is nice. So, coming into the more important part of the pitch then, when playing the 4-5-1, first of all, I want your two wingers to have a few decent playstyles in passing. So if you look at Graham Hansen, she has all the playstyles in passing except, unfortunately, incisive, which is really, really good. Manages to have ping though, which means that her R1 passes from the wing into the middle is going to be very, very accurate, which we really, really like. Also, rapid is very, very good. Trickster, we don't really care too much about, and technical. Then she has finesse shot in white and then low driven in gold. If I were to choose, I would obviously switch the Trickster gold to a finesse gold. That's also something you can maybe do for an Evo, or just try to find another player than Graham Hansen. I think Graham Hansen is really, really good in this formation. On the other hand, we have Vinicius, and if we look at Vinicius, he manages to have incisive passing gold, which basically means that his through balls are going to be amazing. His first time through balls are amazing. Low dribbling in gold again, but also quick step in gold, rapid in white, and then technical in gold. So obviously the dribbling for both wingers super important, but also manages to have either pinged or incisive from the wingers, basically. Then for the three midfielders, you can decide to go with three normal midfielders if you really would like. And here again, I have Ulis. I could go like this as well with Marquinhos, and they play Vitinha here. But more importantly, the three center mids, I want one to be a bit more attacking, and the two other ones here, the central CM and the right CM, to be a bit more defensive, but also have really, really good passing playstyles. Marquinhos, 4 gold playstyles in passing, and the 4 most important as well, which is super important. Look at Cantona then, 3 gold playstyles in passing, which is simply amazing. Also gold in intercept, which is insane. And then for Vitinha, 4 playstyles in passing and 2 in gold for them as well. So passing in this formation 4-5-1 is going to be super important when you're looking at playstyles, and the left CM is going to be the more attacking one then. For a striker then, I think it's super important to have incisive in gold for the striker, and the striker to be able to have finesse and low driven in terms of gold. Kaká ticks all the boxes. I think most of you guys already have him in your team, and to me he is still the best striker in this year's game. Going into the tactics then, I am playing first of all build up style short passing. I want my center midfielders to be pretty close to each other, but also for them to come close to the left back and right back, and basically have an extra guy in the midfield all the time will help against a lot of players at the moment play 4-2-1-3, 4-2-3-1, or 4-4-1-1. You will always feel like you have the upper edge in the midfield because you have one extra option. Then defensive approach will be high. You can also go aggressive if you want to. Lately I've been seeing a lot formations going aggressive, but I still think high is superb. Then we go into the player roles then. We do sweepy keeper on Konate. For the fullbacks, we do fullback balanced, as I want them to be a bit more attacking. As I said, we want to use them a bit more. If you feel like you're not really getting countered easily, I would even go wing back on one of your fullbacks. For the wingers, we have inside forward balanced. for both. Right CM, Marquinhos is actually going to be my holding midfielder, so he's going to be on holding, and the focus should be defend, not ball winning. The right CM should be on box to box. The left CM should be on playmaker attack, not roaming, playmaker attack. And then the striker is going to be on advanced forward attack. And if you want to copy these tactics, the code will be up there. You can just pause the video. Maybe we can zoom it in a bit and yeah, basically use it. Let me know what you guys think about it. Now we jump into a few gameplay parts where I play the 4-5-1 and how you basically want to play it to master this formation basically. So I'm playing Cosimo Guarnieri here, a very, very good Italian pro player that's been in the scene for a long time. Anyway, we play the 4-5-1 formation. You see already here how many options I have. If he decides to go here with Lukaku, he is red, I'm in the black kit. I can just pass it back to Marquinhos, then play Kaká, and I also have so many options. I decided to send Vini, then I have Marquinhos, I can go into the striker. Now I sent Graham Hansen, for example, trying to take touches forward. Then obviously this shouldn't work. This is just going through the legs of the player. And we managed to score to make it 5-3. But the more important thing here is that it's super important to keep on sending your players and sometimes actually playing them feet instead of playing through balls in behind. Because here, for example, I sent Graham Hansen. I can play a through ball here because obviously Kaká has incisive in goal. But I decided, as you see at the top right of your screen there, do an R1 X pass, which means that I will basically trigger Graham Hansen, play the ball into her. Then after, you see Cantona is having his own forward, which means that he is running in behind. Then later on, I'll send Kaká, making a run in behind. This shouldn't work, as I said, going through the legs of Van de Ven. But overall, this is kind of the purpose of when you play the 4-5-1, that you want to have a lot of players triggered going forward. So here again, you see how compact the 4-5-1 is. And that's also why I love this formation so much, because you have that kind of extra midfielder in attack as well, of course. But in defense, it's going to feel very, very compact for you, I promise you. Especially if you're not dragging the players out of position. If you're dragging the CMs out of position and miss, then obviously you will be open in the middle. But the most important thing is that you keep your holding midfielder, the central midfielder, in this case Marquinhos, in the middle. If you can put pressure like I do, it's perfect. I win the ball here and then I can start my counter attack. I could play Graham Hansen through here because his fullback is super high up, but look how many options I have here. So for example, I send Lucio. I can play Vini here, I can play basically Davies, or I can just turn back and play my other CM, because I have these kind of extra passing lanes in the midfield. So I find Marquinhos, played out to the winger. Super important here that you take space, and as I said, try to use the fullback to your biggest advantage there. Then obviously there, the play log didn't work, but it's all about trying to use these kind of players that you have in the midfield now, to your biggest advantage, because otherwise the 4-5-1 doesn't really make sense to play if you're not using the CMs well, basically. But as you see here, it's still so compact. Now my Marquinhos is in the middle. He can't really do anything. He's doing a very, very good speed boost here, for example, with Lauren James. And from here, it's just about defending a bit with CMs. But as you see, I drag down my extra CM here, try to make it compact in the layer. After I win the ball, I send Vinicius on a run, and then I make sure to play Vini in behind when I have the time for it, basically. Once again here, unlucky, but overall that was great play in the 4-5-1, but also very, very good defense there. Trying to tuck in the CMs, as you see here, especially against a lot of players that play with through balls, for example. It is very, very good to use this formation, because then, as I said before, you have that kind of extra player in the midfield. Here again, I should have scored. I don't know why Hansen didn't shoot with the Trevela animation. But overall, these first time through balls are super deadly when it comes to the 4-5-1. Very, very good first time through ball here. Hansen should have scored. But yeah, overall, it's a good defense, turning it into a very, very good attack. Also want to go through a last clip with you guys. And this is going to be a bit of a just heads up. For example, here, I send my Davies. And it's super important, as I said, to use your fullbacks in this formation to try to attack with. Because these fullbacks will also open up space for other players to either take space into the space that they open up, or basically try to find a pass. But as I said, if you send your fullbacks a lot and you tend to lose the ball with them, or you go for a pass to them and the pass doesn't go through to the player that's playing as a fullback, in this case this is Davies, you will find yourself in these kind of areas. And obviously here it's hard because my Davies is out of position. I have my Saliba here, which I basically need to, I mean, I don't really need to go out here. I thought I was going to get him actually. But once you're defending here, you need to still cut off that kind of like cutback, but at the same time trying to be aggressive on him so he can't go byline and then find a pass. Here again though, I feel like I'm doing this well. I pressed circle with Saliba before here to try to take the ball. Instead of actually going for a tackle, he just does a shoulder barge and yeah, he finds the pass into the middle and scores from it. So it's super important that when you send your fullbacks, you're very careful that you're not losing the ball and just letting the fullback run to open up space for basically your team to get into. if that makes sense. So yes, guys, that's been it for today. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. I would appreciate that a lot. Don't forget to like the video so it gets into the algorithm a bit more. I would appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Currently in Saudi Arabia, keep your thumbs like this for me because I need it. I need your luck. I need the luck, chat. Please. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe, boys. Peace. Shokran.